We're rolling. We are rolling.
Nice. Hey,
Well, what's up,
there
everybody?
you
How you
go.
guys doing? This is the very first episode of Black
Yes,
Movie
yes.
Fan. I am Tristan Barracks. I am with my colleagues Joseph and Greg, and we make up the
So,
Black Movie Fan Nation. Well, you do too as well. And we are super excited to do our first episode. We have no idea what we're doing. All we have is a bunch of opinions, theories, and a love for movies, and not just any movies, but movies from a
mhm.
black perspective. Boys, what you guys want to say? How you guys want to introduce
Yes, yes.
yourself? Say hi to everybody.
Hey, hey, what's up, people? What's poppin'? Hold on a second. Just gonna put my charger in there.
Yeah, no
Perfect.
worries.
Okay, what's up, everybody? Hey.
That's all we got, man. That's all we got. We got to come with the
Yeah,
juice, guys. Aren't we excited?
yeah. Yes, we are. Come on, man. Woo! Let's do this. Let's get in. At what was it?
Greg, how you
At
doing?
8:54 in the evening.
I know, I know. Are we that
I'm
old that we
doing
have
good,
no
man.
energy?
I'm doing good.
We're that old that we have no energy. That's what's
Yeah.
happening right here. Anyways, listen, everybody that's watching, thank you so much for watching. We are going to jump right into it, and the first topic, really the topic of the video, is, you guessed it, WandaVision. WandaVision. We're going to be talking about, our likes, dislikes, whether this show works, whether it doesn't work, what we're excited about, what's been happening in the show. We are on episode 5. Episode 5 actually just launched on Friday, this past Friday. It's
Yeah.
Super Bowl Sunday, and we're super excited to talk about it. We're going to jump right into talking about episode 1 to 3. And the reason why we kind of put it this way and we're kind of approaching it this way is, simply put, because 1 to 3 is really, the first quarter or 1/3 of the actual series and of the actual season. And to me, in my opinion, not a lot of things happen. I mean, yes, there's some intrigue, there's some mystery, but
There's a lot.
overall, there it's a pretty boring show for the first 3 episodes. I'm not gonna go into spoilers right
It's
now.
a really slow burn. It's a really
Okay,
slow burn.
I'm gonna let you guys talk about it, because I honestly think it's a really
Yeah.
slow,
Is it
boring burn.
spoiler free? Are we going spoiler free with this one?
No, not at all. Let's go spoiler all the way in. It's all good.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. So, first, I want to start and say, I disagree with Tristan. I think this show is so super interesting, super duper interesting. Like, yo, the thing that doesn't make this intriguing is that it's a slow burner mystery. Like,
Yep.
yeah, it starts off like like your typical. It's weird because you have these two of the weirdest Avengers
Yes.
in a sitcom setting, in these sitcom settings, right? Like, something that's based off the Dick Van Dyke Show, and one's based off Bewitched and whatnot. But it's like, okay, how did we get here?
Hmm.
What? Why is it?
Yeah.
Why are there all these like glitches, and who are these random people, and what's up with these commercials that pop up?
Well,
And
this is
then
the
if you
thing.
notice, like, yeah,
No,
go
no.
ahead.
I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just think, I know where you're going with it, and I want you to continue on with that. But one of the things I think that was challenging for me with this show was just the fact that,
Hmm.
as a fan of the MCU, as a fan of
Yeah,
Marvel, it was just really challenging, because we waited like a year and a half for any sort of
for
MCU
sure.
content, right? Like the last bit of
Hmm.
MCU content that we got was Spider-Man, right? Far From Home. That was the
Yeah,
last MCU
yeah, in
Yeah.
film,
Endgame.
anything, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
like there was Endgame, and then there's Spider-Man, Far From Home, and then we basically had nothing for the rest of 2019. 2020 was the pandemic, and we were supposed to have,
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch, or no, what was it again? Scarlet
Black Widow.
Johansson, Black Widow. There you go. We were supposed to have
Black
Black
Widow.
Widow.
Yeah,
We were supposed to have the Eternals. We were supposed to have Hawkeye, or not Hawkeye, but
Shang Chi.
Shang-Chi. We were supposed to have so many things, and like nothing came out. And then
Hmm.
they're like, okay, we're gonna do, WandaVision, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is a good startup. I'm not really a big Wanda fan, right? And I'm not really a
Yeah.
big Vision fan. I thought they were kind of like the B lister, maybe C listers in terms of like
Uh,
Avengers, right? Obviously, if you're a comic
Yeah.
book head, you're going to really, really enjoy them because they're a big part of the comic books, especially with some of the storylines that we're going to talk about. But overall, I was just like, I was
Hmm.
going in with an open mind. I was trusting Kevin Feige, and Feige we trust.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
okay, the first episode, I was like, okay, cool. You know, it's black and white, it's Bewitched, they're doing some stuff. And then there was kind of that
Hmm.
weird thing where the guy was choking, and I was like, okay, cool. And they saved him. And then, you know, the beekeeper came, and it was kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's certain things that were happening, and I was just like, okay, cool. And then the
Yeah.
second episode happened, and it was like, I think that's when she got pregnant, and then they went into color or something like that. I forgot what
Hmm.
happened. The
At the
second
end.
episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. The second episode was the radio when she was when she was at that planning party and they were playing. They were doing that whole sort of fundraiser and the magic show. That was okay, but then I was getting to a place where I was like, okay, show us a little bit more. I can't just wait until the very
Yeah.
end of
But
the show, right?
there were little hints. There were little hints there, like the
Okay,
radio.
so, okay. Tell us the little hints.
The radio. Okay, so like when what was it? When they're planning the party, all the girls are there, and then I think what was it? She was talking to the one blonde lady. The radio
Yep.
goes off,
Yes.
calling out Wanda.
Absolutely.
You know, yeah, like you're like, okay, where's that coming from? Who's behind that other? Who's by the other end?
Yeah, and
Right?
nobody
It's that
and that wasn't
it's that one
answered.
clue.
That wasn't answered at all until like episode 4. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
But that's
I
the mystery. But that's the mystery behind it, right? And then like
yeah.
the drones, that little like helicopter that came out of nowhere,
Mm.
Yes.
like
So I
another
mean, it
mystery.
definitely took a. You would have to have taken a second look for sure. Like the first time around,
Yeah,
the only thing you would have probably noticed is just that obviously the little drone that she found in the bushes was red. That's pretty
Yep.
much
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But
Yep.
after watching it like a second time, if you like really focus in on it, you actually see that the symbol on the toy drone is for sword.
Hmm.
yeah.
Now
And then
that
the
was
So
fact
I
that
definitely.
mean,
Go ahead. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
yeah, I was gonna
I
say,
mean,
like,
and
I
then the
mean,
fact
there
like
there definitely are hints, but the issue is that
yeah,
there weren't enough to really like keep the mystery like front face and center to like keep the viewer's
mm,
attention.
And I think also like, would you say, Joseph, right? Would you say that
yeah,
you're a pretty deep in terms of knowledge and understanding of the MCU, just the comic book universe? You're pretty deep in it, right? Like you know a lot of
yeah.
storylines
I
because
would say
you've
I'm
read.
fairly deep, fairly
Mm,
deep. Yeah, like I didn't read too
Yeah.
many of the Avengers. I
mm,
just read about certain storylines, and I know with this story in particular, it kind of takes away from two big storylines from the comic books, which is like
yeah.
so I'm getting feelings of like House of M,
Yep.
and then like the Scarlet Witch and Vision miniseries from like the mid '80s,
Hmm.
where they kind of get where they kind of have their like separate lives, and they have their family and kids and whatnot. So
And I
that's where it's
think
kind of derived from.
I think that the show is interesting from the standpoint of they're taking risks and they're trying something where it's like they're creating this universe and this alternate reality, and I really like that. I like that about the show.
Hmm.
And there is this nostalgic feel even from episode 5 where it's like family ties and like growing pains and has that sort
Yes,
of
yes.
nostalgicness to it. I like that. I really do. I just
Like
think,
the '80s sitcom.
yeah, my only challenge to the show, at least from episode 1 to 3, was if you take away the what's to come, if you take away the MCU-ness, right? The Marvel Cinematic
Yeah.
Universe and all of those other things, can this show stand on its own? Right? It's no different than what we do with movies in the MCU. Like Spider-Man Far From Home can stand alone on its own. If we needed
Oh,
to make it
easily.
stand alone, right? Doctor Strange can stand alone on its own. It's even better
Yeah.
that we, it's connected to the MCU. But I can watch Guardians of the Galaxy and never have to
Hmm.
watch other movies in the MCU and still
Hmm.
be entertained, and it's intriguing and it's enjoyable and I can understand enough of it. without me having to like watch a whole bunch of other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So would you say that this is kind of like a filler series compared to like all the other movies that have come out? Well, majority of the movies that
Man,
have come out in the MCU.
that's a great question. What do you think,
No,
Greg?
I'm ready to jump in.
Yeah.
Definitely not a
Yeah.
filler series. So the biggest thing that the thing that makes the Marvel Cinematic Universe so great is that everything is connected. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the one thing that they try to do is that the TV shows will be kind of like a supplement to the movies. But if you do
Like a
watch
launch
the
pad to
TV
the
shows,
movies.
you're exactly. You're gonna get like so much more if you do watch the shows and the movies. So the goal is
Mm-hmm.
that, now I think I more so lean on Tristan's side to the sense that, it definitely was like a
Yeah.
slow burn. Like if the series only had these 3 episodes, like it'd be really hard, like a really hard watch. Cause
Yeah. No
like,
one would get it.
you're just seeing the sitcom. You may know a little bit about the characters, but then it's like what's really going on here aside from those little tidbits of clues that maybe not your average person is gonna be aware of.
And
So
and let's be honest. Let's be honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we I think a lot of the people that like this show, number one, um, like it and are giving it a chance because of the brand of Disney and Marvel. That's the first thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I think the second thing is people. There's some people that actually don't really like the don't really like superhero stories and movies and branding,
Mm-hmm.
but they like mystery, right? And they
Yeah.
like intrigue
yeah,
and they like something that's more, you know what I mean? Like even when I first put out my post, I said, after episode 3, I said, is it just me or is this show boring? And the show was like there was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of mixed reviews. There was people like, "Oh no, it's not boring." Other people saying it was boring. And all I was saying was I wasn't saying that I was getting off the Marvel boat, but I wanted to ask an honest question because I felt like, man, there's just is it just me that's struggling through these first 3 episodes? And it wasn't that I didn't see
Gee,
the symbolism or the ads. I got that, but I just didn't. I wasn't enjoying it. You follow what I'm saying?
but I think you know what it is, and it was like you mentioned before. I think a lot of people, like as yourself, are still on that end game high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And once you set
for sure.
exactly like once you set that bar so high up, you want to keep expecting that from the MCU. But I'll be real, it's not going to happen because what I always love about Marvel is that they take they're able to tell the traditional comic book stories through different types of genres, and that's what I've always dug about Marvel. Like if you look at something like Spider-Man: Far From Home, which is like
Yeah.
it's like your teen John Hughes flick,
Yep.
or Ant-Man's your heist movie, or what's it called? Winter Soldier was was inspired by your late 70s, like early
70s
70s spy
yeah,
action flick.
spy action, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's all these different genres for these MCU films. You get the WandaVision, and it plays out like a Twin Peaks esque type of mystery, which I think is
Mm.
what they're trying, which I see what they're trying to do, and it's
Dope,
working
dope, dope.
brilliantly, like exactly, like it's
Yeah,
working out so well.
I never thought of it like that's the first time I ever heard somebody describe the show like almost
Yeah.
like perfectly, like super accurately because I went into the show kind of thinking, okay, yeah, there's going to be mystery, but we'll find out stuff. You know what I mean? Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
but we don't really don't start finding out anything, at least as a viewer, until episode 4, right? Because what? Let's
Man,
let's
yeah.
let's take a
So
look at right. You know what I mean?
Episode
Episode
three.
one was like
Yeah.
kind of like our intro to the whole world. It's black and white. We still don't
Hmm.
know what's going on, but we're just kind of following with it. But then at the end, we see somebody watching a television, right? with
Yeah.
WandaVision on there with the credits and with the
Yeah.
octagon, or is it octagon? Yes, the octagon.
The hexagon, yeah.
Hexagon, sorry.
That's
It's hexagon,
Then
yeah.
then we have episode 2 where they're now, basically having doing the talent show. We hear about the radio, right? And at first I thought it sounded like Captain America over the radio because
Yeah, that's
because
what I thought too.
I thought so because, and then on top of that, just around that same time a few weeks ago, there was news reports that Chris Evans signed back
yeah.
another
Yeah.
contract to be Captain America again, to come
Cap.
back as Captain America.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, okay, maybe they released this just before they're gonna show, you know what I mean? They're gonna show that
Yeah.
he's gonna be Captain America. But that ended up not being him. And then at the end of episode 2, what happens at the end of episode 2? Was it just the beekeeper?
Episode 2,
Episode 2.
it was the
Go ahead.
beekeeper, and then they rewind back to the part where they're going outside, I think. And I think the end of
Yes.
episode 2 is when everything goes back to color.
Yes, and then it goes to
And then
color,
she
and
finds
then
out
she's
she's
pregnant.
pregnant.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
episode 2, and then episode 3 is where we see basically they're in the 70s, and Wanda is pregnant. She's gonna have the children, and then
Yeah.
what's her name? What's the black girl's name again?
Monica
Geraldine.
Rambo,
In this,
Geraldine and Monica Rambo,
Yeah.
aka.
aka
Yeah.
Monica Rambo. She helps deliver the babies, but then she also mentions about Quicksilver, which is
Yeah,
Wanda's
Pietro.
brother, and that's actually where it got really interesting. What are your thoughts on that part of episode 3?
Oh man, that opened a can of worms.
Yeah.
As far as like, that was kind of the episode that kind of broke where you started to see the crack
Mhm.
in the crack in Wanda's in armor. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah.
the episode. It was so weird. Like
Yeah.
why? I think she's still like to this day. I feel like she's still mourning her brother, and I think I get the feeling that Monica Rambeau hit a soft spot there.
Yep. No, I
And
think so too. Well, because her
Yeah.
brother, I mean, she never really grieved about her brother, right? And I think a
she
lot
never
of
did.
and then I think at that point we see her basically we don't even see her fly out of the house. We just see what's his name come back in, Vision come back into the house,
Yeah.
and then Wanda's by
Yeah.
herself with the twins, right? In episode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she has this weird look on her face like everything's fine. And that was
Yeah.
when I started to think she's crazy. She's crazy.
Yeah. Oh man, you don't know the half. You don't know the
Yeah.
half, man. Oh my gosh.
But
Like,
let's talk a little bit about episode 4. This is when, in my opinion,
yes.
like the whole show flipped on and like it became an actual show I want to watch and I couldn't wait to watch.
It got interesting. I agree.
Yeah, talk about your thoughts on episode 4.
Episode 4 was amazing. Like one of the best intros to a TV show I've ever seen.
Yes.
Like we all remember, the snap, Hulk
Yep.
snapping everybody back in Endgame, right? And I think in Spider-Man Far From Home, we kind of got the funny side to that.
Yep.
Like, all
Yeah.
these kids, all these high school kids are popping up out of nowhere
Yep.
5 years later and having to do like the same grade over and over again after being away for 5 years. And, everything's back to normal. Everyone jokingly refers to it as the blip. But then you look at WandaVision and the first, I think the first 5 minutes of that episode, and it was chaotic. It was so chaotic. Like, Monica Rambeau's waking up in the hospital and everybody's scrambling and it's crazy.
It really gave us a grounded human approach when it came to what the snap was like. You know what I mean? Like it's like just what's going on, and everybody's like it's just chaos, right? And you think to yourself, man, like what would that be like if everybody just snapped back, right where they
Yeah.
were, right? And some people say, well, what
Yeah.
if you were in the air? What if you were flying? What if you were doing
That's what.
whatever, right? Would you be
Yeah.
in the middle of the air, snap back? Kevin
Yeah.
Feige kind of speaks to that a little bit. He did speak to that a few months ago, or like after Endgame. He spoke about how
Yeah.
everybody kind of lands in the same vicinity, just in a safe space, right? So, but that was
Yeah.
interesting. But I love the fact that Marvel, out of one sort of incident, right? They're
Yeah.
able to pull out so many different storylines, right? Because it's like, okay, when you look at
Hmm.
Thanos, right? What Thanos did, right? You
Hmm.
out of that storyline when he snapped, you pull out the storyline of Thor and how Thor basically um, went into depression, right? You look
Yeah.
at the fact that what's his name, Stark, Iron Man,
Yeah.
says, you know what, I can't do anything, I can't help the world. I almost died, and now I'm just gonna take care of myself. I can't protect the world,
Yeah. I'm just
right?
gonna retreat with
I'm
with
just
my
gonna
family,
retreat.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
just be away, right? You look at Captain Marvel, right? Captain Marvel's like, well, I gotta go. Like, this sucks, but I gotta go to take care of all the other worlds, right? Or all the other
Yeah.
places, planets in the universe, right?
Planets. Yeah.
Right. You look at
Yeah.
Ant-Man. Ant-Man has to deal with the fact that he's like in like he's just
The
in
quantum
limbo,
realm.
right? Yeah, quantum realm.
He's in
So
limbo.
there's
He has the quantum realm.
you know what I mean? So there's all of these different storylines, and then you look at Far From Home, and what what they had to deal with after the snap, right? And now we're
Yeah.
dealing with these other characters, that are Monica Rambeau or Lambeau.
Yeah. Marco
Rambo.
Rambo. Yeah.
Yeah, Rambo. And we're looking at what her mom and Captain Marvel were like best friends, and her mom dies, right? And she has this
Yeah.
sort of thing about against Captain Marvel, and then she's also getting put into this place where apparently the storyline for WandaVision is like 9 days after the snap, and like the snap back,
Oh,
like Hulk
really?
snap. Yeah, it's like within
Yeah.
like a really really short time window or time frame, and the reason why a lot of people are saying the reason why people believe that Vision is dead is because um, Spider-Man: Far From Home actually happens like 3 months or 4 months later, and there's a memorial, right? There's
Really?
in memoriam, yeah. So if you're looking at the timeline, WandaVision actually happens like maybe days after they kill and destroy Thanos. So like there's a lot
Mm.
of it's really trippy because they're kind of taking us back in time to tell a story that we haven't heard. We're not even
Yeah.
in the present day yet when it comes to
Yeah.
the storyline of the MCU. So what do you guys think about that?
We're far from it, though. We're far from it if you think about it,
Yeah,
because they're like, I think it's like 20. They're in 2025.
yeah, yeah. That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
2025 or something like that. So we're kind of far from it. That's interesting that you mentioned that. This takes place like right after the war, the
Yeah.
big war with Thanos. That's interesting. I've never thought about that.
Yeah, that's what they're saying in the timeline. The other thing I want to talk about, and this is something that has to deal with more as us as just creatives and
Hmm.
as fans, as black movie fans. I think that it's really
Hmm.
really interesting. It's really really cool that they were able um to get a black lead um to actually be the
Yes.
not a antagonist, but like the protagonist or one of the protagonists. You know what I mean? I guess you would call her the protagonist because
Hmm.
she's the main character outside of Wanda and Vision. That's kind of like we're kind
Yeah.
of rallying around, right? We don't really know what Wanda is saying,
Hmm.
right? We know that
Yeah.
Vision is kind of figuring things out, and then we see Monica, and Monica's just trying to do the right thing. She just seems like a good person, and I love the fact that like she's
Hmm.
smart, she's strong, she's witty, and they couldn't have
Yeah.
casted a better actress. I think she starred
Oh,
in Chirac as well.
yeah. Tayona Paris
Yeah,
is her name.
she's
Yep.
phenomenal,
Yeah, Tayona
phenomenal.
Paris.
You
Such a
know,
dope actress. Such a dope actress.
what are your thoughts,
And
Greg?
you know what? It's cool.
Well, the actor, amazing. Really looking forward to like where she's gonna go, because if you know a little bit about the character that she plays, like there's a lot of history. And she's
Hmm.
obviously in WandaVision right now, but she's like more than likely gonna be in Captain Marvel 2, and whatever other movies may connect to that as well
Yep.
too. So
Yeah.
she's done an amazing job of the acting and just the performance she's given already. And right now, I assume that she's just a regular person right now. So we don't know if she's like had her moment yet or done her thing. Like those are the things that remain hidden right now. So
Yeah.
That's gonna be
I'm
exciting.
really excited to see like when that happens and when we get to see that, whether it's in the movie or in the TV show.
What
Yeah,
do you
I'm
think,
excited.
Joseph?
I'm excited for this character. I'm
Yeah.
excited for this character. Really excited. I was hoping. I was definitely waiting for the time that they would actually debut this character, and they could have picked a better time with WandaVision. And then Captain Marvel 2, she's supposed to be up here, and then hopefully she'll be, most likely she'll be part of the Avengers, because in
Well,
the
well,
comic book
apparently,
she's like,
apparently so, right? Apparently, she's
yeah,
like supposed to have like these. She's supposed to be like in one set or one area of the Marvel comics. She's Captain Marvel. She becomes Captain Marvel,
she's
and
Captain
then
Marvel. She was the second Captain Marvel.
yeah,
Yeah.
Uh, Actually, she debuted it. The character Monica Rambeau debuted in one in the Spider-Man comics.
really.
I think it was Amazing Spider. Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man annual. I have my Google here. Let me look it up because I didn't want to get this wrong. Fucking no, pardon my
No, it's all
French.
good. It's all good. It's all good.
Um, all right. Where is it? Monica Rambeau. When was her
Dope,
first
dope, dope, dope.
appearance? Her first appearance was Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16,
Oh wow.
and she was in the comic books. She was a Coast Guard. They ends up encountering this weird alien type of energy, which gave her the superpowers that she has right now in the comic books, and then ends up taking the moniker of Captain Marvel. And then I think Spider-Man introduced her to the Avengers to kind of train and help use her powers, and then through that she ended up becoming a full-fledged member.
But
And then
then
throughout the years, she changed her name. Yeah, go ahead.
she's also supposed to be the daughter of the black girl from of Captain Marvel, right? Isn't she?
Yeah, Maria Rambeau. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, okay, okay.
she's
Yeah.
Maria Rambeau's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, they actually it's funny. Both of her parents are alive in the comics, which is pretty cool.
really. Okay.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah,
like smaller characters. So
I never heard about her. Like I just it's so
mhm.
interesting, and that's part of the reason why I get excited is because I don't know all the storylines. So for me,
Yeah,
it's like I'm just like, yo, let's just find it out together. You know what I mean? And I love the fact that Marvel's not
that's
doing
it.
everything exactly the same. You know, they're doing a little slightly
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
But let's talk. So
Like they're
so
giving you,
go ahead. No, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
they're giving you like traditional Monica Rambeau, but they're not like giving you everything all at once.
Yep.
They're starting them in stages, and that's why I always love about the MCU and their characters. Like they're really good at building up those characters, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Let's
go
talk.
ahead.
Yeah, no, no. Let's talk a little bit about so how does episode 4 um end, and why do we feel like why do you guys feel like episode 4 really becomes the straw that stirs the drink?
Man, because it's Wanda's power set. Like when she says, "Oh my gosh, it's Wanda. This is all Wanda." It really is all Wanda because that's part of her powers, right? Altering reality or creating her own reality, and that's something we gotta beware of in these
Can I ask
upcoming like installments.
can I ask a question, because this is something
Yeah,
that's been bothering me about Wanda's powers, okay?
yeah,
Wanda gets her powers from Loki's staff.
yeah. The Mind
The
Stone.
Mind Stone.
The
Yeah.
Mind Stone, right? The Mind
Yeah,
Stone was in
yeah.
Loki's staff. Okay, fine, right?
Yeah.
So how, but how can the Mind Stone allow her to alter realities when there is a reality stone, which was the ether? Wasn't it the ether? Like
Yeah.
from Thor, isn't that the reality stone? And that's the stone
It
that
is.
Thanos uses to change the realities and change Star Lord's guns into bubbles and to change that
It
whole like.
is.
So that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand why. Like what's the difference between the reality stone
I
and the
want to
Mind
jump
Stone?
in
Then
here.
Okay.
okay.
Okay. So I read or somewhere there's a book. There's a book that is it's called the Wakanda Files, right? And in there, yeah, it's an actual book. Like it's a whole thing where like supposedly Shuri breaks down all the scientific kind of response, not the scientific happenings of the MCU. One of them deals with like the Mind Stone's effect on the twins.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, the Mind Stone had awakened latent abilities that were already inside Pietro and Wanda,
That's it.
right?
Oh.
It's
So it
hinting.
could be, ding ding, the mutant. They might be. It might be the big M word. You know what I mean? Like,
That's it.
Oh.
yeah,
Go
That's
go
it.
go go
yeah,
go 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 go.
yeah, right.
Whoa,
So,
buddy. Whoa, buddy.
yeah. I'm telling you, like,
So the Mind Stone really didn't give them their powers. It just kind of revealed that they had powers.
yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of just awakened something that was
Oh,
already in them.
that
You know what I mean?
that
Yeah.
And
Because
that
remember,
changes
Xbox,
with
everything.
the mutants, it's all
one,
about the gene that's within you, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's dormant, but using the stone, it basically activated it.
That
yeah,
that that
and
changes
unlocked it.
everything. That changes everything. That really does. That really does. Okay, so you guys just opened up a whole can of worms. Because I'm sitting there watching and I'm thinking she's changing reality, but she wasn't like
Yeah.
the stone that she was tested on wasn't the reality stone. It was the
No.
Mind Stone to control people's
Hmm.
minds, which made sense to control people's minds. But being
But
able
it does
to,
so much.
yeah, but then also being able to reshape the fiber and the materials that go into this sort of world. That's another interesting thing. Like, how do you guys think they're going to
Yeah.
use that? Um, do you think, first of all, let me say this: do you think that they're going to
Hmm.
use this sort of like Wanda's powers to allow mutants to come in that way, or are they going to introduce mutants in another way?
I
You
think
know
it's going to
what?
be
Part of
another
me
way.
feels they're gonna. Yeah. Same here. I feel like they're gonna they're gonna introduce it in a way where mutants already existed, but they were
Mm.
just very secret,
Okay.
very very on the low. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think I
But
think they could go like maybe two different ways or so. Just like Joe said,
hmm
like maybe they were already here, but we couldn't see them. Like, maybe Professor X did something just so people wouldn't see mutants or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or
hmm
it's gonna go a route of like, whether it was when Thanos did the snap on Earth, like maybe that same radiation effect from the stones does something to all the humans. Maybe, obviously it didn't happen right away, but we had that like the
hmm
first snap in Infinity War. Then we had like two more snaps in Endgame, right? Like we had the snap
hmm
from Hulk, and then we had the snap from Tony. So,
Mm.
yeah.
we've had all this like energy just blasting all over Earth. Like something may
hmm
come of that.
What do you guys think about? Okay, 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 okay. Because
Yeah.
they do mention in WandaVision that there's this cosmic energy, like from the Big Bang, that's radiating from this hexagon, right? From the hex, right?
Yeah.
So I, I almost feel like they're gonna try and play on that. And the other thing is with Monica Rambeau's with her scans, her CTE scans, like on her brain and stuff like that, they came out blank.
hmm
So it's almost
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like is she becoming a mutant? Is she going to be the first mutant? Is, you know what I mean, like, because she went into this sort of like cosmic radiation thing. Like there's so many questions, right? There's so many
Yeah,
questions.
so much. Do you think do you guys feel that she might gain her powers in this film?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think
Yeah,
that she is going to she's going to be normal, and I think she'll gain her powers
yeah,
in the next Captain Marvel. A part of that
Captain
is
Marvel.
because of the fact that I think we don't have like a mainstead. We so Captain Marvel obviously is a female superhero, but I think that they
Hmm.
may want to add like a black woman superhero, especially with like just the climate that we're in as well. So that's something
Hmm.
to think about, and because you know it's all dependent on how popular the show is, right? If this show pops off, they're going to. I bet you by the time they get to Captain Marvel, they're going to probably push her stature and her status even more.
Yeah, and spin her off into her own series. They're already talking about spinning off Randall Park's Jimmy Woo and Darcy and Kat Dennings Darcy into their own show, which I would love to
Oh
watch.
wow, that would be crazy.
I'd love to watch that one. It'd be like an X Files esque type of show, or even like turn it into like the Ages of Atlas, which is
Okay.
another like comic book where there's Jimmy Woo and there's like this talking gorilla. I haven't read too much about it, but yeah, that's
I
that's
honestly
pretty much
so
what that
I'm
is.
okay. So let's talk about let's close off with episode 5.
Ooh,
What do you feel
ooh.
about like wins, losses? Let's start with Greg. What do you think? Like, what do you think are the greatest things right now?
Mm.
Man, episode 5 was just like another layer on the cake. Like, especially like the ending. Like, I'm not trying to. I hate to jump so far ahead, but
Yeah.
man, that ending, so my thing,
Oh.
like my biggest thing throughout this whole MCU thing is that like I never watched any trailers. I never watched, like, maybe if I watched a trailer, I watched the first one and that's it. I never watched anything else. I
Mm.
never watched no spoilers or any breakdowns or rumors, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
So when I saw this ending, like the gears in my head just started going, and I mean, on one side it's clear as day where these things are, like, where it's going, like just by that character showing up, like they're
Yeah.
like screaming in our face, like this is where we are taking things, and it's crazy,
Yeah.
man. Like, I'm so excited.
But
Go ahead, Joe.
part of me,
Go ahead,
yeah,
Joe.
part of me thinks that okay, we can spoil episode 5, can we?
Absolutely, absolutely. If you
Okay,
haven't seen
so
episode 5,
episode
it's Sunday
5,
night, Super Bowl Sunday. You need to watch it. Okay. Spoiler alert.
you need to
Spoiler.
get on
Look.
that.
Spoiler alert. Go ahead.
Yo, so honestly, yo, episode 5, I screamed when I saw that character. I
Yeah. No.
screamed. Oh my gosh.
And what
Just
character
when you
was
think
it?
it was Aaron, Quicksilver,
Oh,
Pietro. Just when you thought it was
but which
Taylor
Quicksilver?
Johnson's character, it was Evan Peters.
Yep.
But then, and then people were like, okay, Evan Peters is supposed to appear in this movie as another character. But then part of me feels that's not actually Quicksilver. Someone's
Mm,
toying with Wanda.
No.
you think
Oh.
so you kind of think like John
Like some
Campia.
people,
John Campia on
pardon?
YouTube says the same thing. No, I said John Campia.
Yeah,
He's a movie
yeah.
buff guy too as well, and he doesn't think that it's actually Quicksilver either.
It's not him. Somebody's toying with Wanda. Even when you say when Wanda's having that argument with Vision and that whole standoff, she's like, I don't even know how I got here. I don't know what I'm doing. I just
Mm,
know that I have to like monitor everybody with my powers everywhere I go, every single time, and all these other things are just coming about, like with Quicksilver showing up, the fact that there's no children in the playground, and
Yep.
Somebody's toying with her, man, and I feel like it's another villain. I feel like so. Rumor has it it's either Nightmare or Mephisto.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's what they're saying.
Mephisto's like the devil. Yeah,
I I don't know any of those storylines, so I'm gonna be the last
yeah,
person to kind of speak on that. But yeah, that's what I heard too as
yeah.
well.
Because
But look
Mephisto's
here.
like,
So here you go. The MCU, like, could they be messing with us so hard? Because for this guy, like, of all the people to cast to play,
yeah,
like, to come in and say, "Hey, it's me," it's like it's your brother. This is the guy who played Quicksilver in the X-Men like
Hmm.
Fox universe.
Yep.
So
yeah,
now, not only has Wanda created like, or Wanda or somebody controlling Wanda created this pocket like universe or reality.
hmm,
Now we have someone from technically another reality in this reality. So it's to me, I'm like that would be such a huge play to have a Quicksilver from another universe here in this universe, and then like, oh man,
and
like it's
And
crazy.
and the thing about it, here's the thing, gentlemen, is
yeah,
like when we're talking about having like the Quicksilver from the Fox universe, the Fox Marvel universe, X-Men universe coming over into the
hmm,
Marvel Cinematic Universe, right?
hmm,
I don't know how that can play as just fake because because you're if you, even if you fake it, even if it's like some enemy faking it, you're still acknowledging that cinematic universe exists in this world. You follow what I'm
that is
saying?
canon.
That
Yeah,
is canon, right? So even
yeah,
Yeah,
no matter what, even if it's not, if it's like a fake version of Quicksilver or whatever else, right? But even
hmm,
that doesn't make sense because Mephisto or another person doing this and fooling Wanda into thinking that this is her brother. Why would like think about it from a strategic standpoint? Why would you try and fool somebody and
hmm.
say this is your brother if that person doesn't even look like your brother? Wouldn't you come back
That's
as the
it.
brother, looking like the brother? So
Right,
so it has to
right.
be greater than that because of the fact that this character we all know as viewers is from Fox, the Fox merger,
Yeah,
basically. You know what I mean? So it has to
yeah,
be.
from
It's basically them
from those
saying like,
cool
yeah,
scenes.
you know. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and honestly, this type of thing with that Quicksilver opens up a can of worms for all the other movies tied to WandaVision. If you
Absolutely,
think about it,
yes,
Spider-Man 3 is supposed to have this similar theme. And rumor has
absolutely.
it Toby and Andrew were supposed to appear in that movie along with all the other Spider peoples that were in those previous films.
Jamie
And then
Foxx,
the yeah, yeah.
Jamie Foxx, and the guy that
Kirsten
played.
Dunst,
Yep, the guy that played. Oh my gosh, Doctor Ock from
Doctor
the.
Huck, yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
Alfred Molina,
Yep.
Willem Dafoe, they're all supposed to appear in Spider-Man 3. And then like and then there's like the granddaddy, which is like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which
Oh,
is
listen. Let me.
oh,
When I tell you,
that's
I
gonna be
can't wait. When
intense.
I tell you, I cannot wait for Doctor Strange, and they haven't even started shooting yet. It's not gonna come out till like 2023 or something
Yeah,
like that. But when I tell you, I am
yeah,
excited about that movie. Like, listen, dope. That's all I feel like. Just saying, just
yeah,
dope,
yeah.
dope. That's it. So,
Yeah,
I
so
feel like
okay,
the Doctor Strange movie could feel like it feels like it's gonna be that like how you had Captain America Civil War, like it's like
yeah,
that movie where you have so many characters that come in. That's how I feel about Doctor
yeah,
Strange and the
yeah,
Multiverse of Madness.
and so
yeah.
just so
It's gonna
you
be
guys know,
bonkers.
just so you guys know, the 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 way it's going to work right now in terms of the timing of movies.
Hmm.
The next movie that's coming out is Spider-Man 3, not Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you guys know
Yeah,
this, but all of them are connected, right? So WandaVision,
yeah,
Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man, they're all that's one seamless storyline together. So that's why
yeah,
those three sort of brands are really important. So we're like this is gonna go crazy. This is gonna be insane. And apparently, anyway, Spider-Man 3 is supposed to come out this year, or is it next year?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Around this holiday season,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
this coming holiday season is coming out,
which is crazy.
and
Yeah.
it's supposedly going to be like a Christmas theme film. That kind of
Well,
deals
I
with the
mean,
aftermath of that
we'll
ending of
see.
the end
We'll
of that
see. You know what I
movie.
mean? There's probably we're probably gonna
Yeah,
have more luck getting PlayStation fives during Christmas than actually seeing a movie. To be honest with you, because the way
right.
things are going, it's going crazy, guys. But let's
Yeah,
talk. Okay, let's talk a little bit
yeah.
about. I just want to change gears before we finish off here. But one of the things
Mhm.
I want to say to all the viewers is again, my name is Tristan Barracks. We got Greg here, Greg Smith, Joe Bonzu. Am I right?
Yes, Bonsu.
There
Yeah.
we go. There we go. And we are a part of the creative, a part of the Black movie fan clans. And this whole
Mhm.
channel, this whole video, all the content we're creating is all about celebrating movies, celebrating the Black movie fan experience. Our experience, our perspectives are different than other groups, and we think that it's important for our voices to be elevated and to share our perspectives. So, that being said, moving forward, we're gonna talk about mainstream movies, but we're also gonna talk about movies that have no connection necessarily to like mainstream, that are just speaking on Black culture, Black politics, or have a Black
Mhm.
perspective, right? And I think that that's really really important. One of the movies I want to check out, which I think is going to be pretty cool, is American Skin. I don't know if you know that one, by Nate. I think it's Nate Parker. Nate
Name part.
Parker.
Okay, I've always wanted
Yeah.
to see that one.
Yeah, he directed it. It's like a BT slash something film, but I think that should be one that we should check out. As well as there's a movie called Waves that's pretty dope. I would love for you guys to
Yeah.
check that out. Waves, and then there's another one called Loose. That's pretty cool too as
Okay.
well. So yeah, we got a lot of work to do. We're really excited. I think what we should do in honor of Black History Month, we should probably pick a couple of Black movies, maybe a comic book Black movie like Black Panther, and relitigate it again and see
Hmm.
2 years, 3 years later whether or not it
Yeah.
still holds up, right? Whether or not it still holds up and it still works. And then we'll also check out and share with you some of our perspectives on some of the other cool Black movies that are out now. What do you guys think about that?
Awesome, man. Looking forward to it.
I'm good. I'm down.
All right. Where can people find you guys at? Share your ats and your social medias, and then we'll close it off.
All right. So with me, you could find. So I'm one half of Heroes of the World.
Dope.
Myself and Mark Williams. Big
Dope.
ups to Mark Williams. So you could find us at heroesoftheworld.com. You can also find some of my artwork at. Oh no, my apologies. Our website's theheroesoftheworld.com. You can find us on Instagram at Heroes of the World. You can also find some of my artwork at joeacebonsu.com. And you can check me out on Instagram at JO83. That's JAYOH83.
Dope. Greg,
Hey.
what about you?
And for me, you cannot find me online because I'm not sharing my personal stuff just yet, but coming soon.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And my name
Yeah.
is Tristan Barracks. I go by The Digital Storyteller. You can check me out on all my social media platforms at Tristan Barracks, for all the social media platforms. If you don't know how to spell my last name, it's Bar and Rocks. Put that together, you got my last name. All right. This is Joe,
Sure.
Tristan, and Greg for the Black Movie Fan channel. Look out for more movies, reviews, and just overall dope stuff coming out of this channel. We appreciate you. We appreciate the views, and let's keep the conversations going. Comment below, share, like, and subscribe. You know what to do. Until the next time, peace.
Peace, peace,
Peace.
and love.